Hey, I'm Quincy and I'm a radio personality, but just like you, I'm always wanting to make better health choices for myself and of course for my family. Now that's why I've teamed up with my friend Dr. Dean Tyndall and the fine folks of New Life Naturopathic, the creators of new-lifeweightloss.com, to bring you a podcast focused on giving you the information you need to make the best health decisions for you and your family. Now, that's going to be without sway from what mainstream medicine has become. Now, this podcast, Pursuit of New Life, we're going to release one each Friday. And we're going to focus on debunking the mainstream medicine myths now associated with naturopathic, holistic medicine, while giving you clear insight into ways you can make your health a lifestyle and not a jump from fad diet to fad diet. Experts in the fields of biochemistry, chiropractic, physiology, women's health, and much more will weigh in on a range of topics, all designed to open your eyes, expand your knowledge, and bring you to new life. Now be sure to subscribe to Pursuit of New Life on all the podcast platforms, and also follow us on YouTube at newlifenaturopathic.com, and be joining us every Friday for Pursuit of New Life.
Welcome in. This is Pursuit of New Life. We're thankful that you've stopped alongside us on this holistic journey, and would you please subscribe and share with your friends on YouTube? Also, of course, on your preferred podcast platform. Make sure you're checking that out and sharing that as well. Great ways to listen and get informed. You can also check out newlifenaturopathic.com or new-lifeweightloss.com as well. Those are great places for resources and get connected with our New Life Naturopathic team. And we're going to bring them in right now. And we are going to have some fun today, folks. We have been in some pretty deep subjects the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about women's health, men's health, DNA, all of that. So this week, we're going to talk a little bit more about the whole family, and something that everybody can agree on is something important to take care of, and that is our animals and our pets. So let us dive right in. Dr. Tyndall, I bet people don't know that New Life Naturopathic helps with pets. So that's a good way to jump in and talk a little bit about pets today.
Yeah, it's one of our kind of little hidden secrets that we do in our office. Because pets are a big part of people's families, and they're very important to people. And so, yeah, we get a lot of requests to do work with animals. For example, work with a friend that she's got a cat who's got kidney failure. So we got some supplements for that. And then when we got our office cat, my daughter found him in a ditch about a little bit over a year ago. He was in really bad shape. He had lung problems. His fur he's a black cat, but he was all white from like the shoulders back.
Oh, wow.
He had parasites, and so we nursed him back to health. And we also have our PEMF therapy that we do. So we go out and work on horses a lot of times, especially down at the Amish. We got people that bring their dogs and cats in to do PEMF therapy. So it's fun. And then we do some volunteer work for a group that's called the Nolan River Wildlife Group. And we do the volunteer work for them. So we do a lot of naturopathic work, and these are wild animals that have been injured, and they get brought to Mary Key at Nolan Wildlife. And then we do a lot of the x-rays, and then we'll give like nutritional recommendations. And it's kind of cool. What I like about it, and it's this, what's really cool about the whole thing is, and this should be a model for healthcare, human healthcare, is that everybody's integrated. So you got Mary who does that. She's got volunteers trained to do work with them. She's got a vet that, we talked a lot, and I do x-rays for him. He tells me what he wants. And then they got the medications, and it's nice because the vet sister go, okay, what are you doing? What are your supplements doing? And then I explain to him, he goes, oh, yeah, that's cool. And let's go with that. And then, we talk about the medication. It's just, what's great is it's all integrated to help those wild animals that have been injured or sick or whatever, try to get them healthy and get them back out into the wild again and get them released again.
Yeah.
So it's really cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, and then for people that have pets at home, Dr. Stuber, I know you have a cat that's very interested in supplements. So tell us a little bit about how your cat chooses the supplements that they get to take.
Well, I have 4 cats, but one cat, Mittens, she's an honored cat. I love her to death, but she likes to, in the morning time, I don't know if it was about 6 months ago, I kept hearing the bottles of supplements fall on the floor. Like bang, bang, bang. And I was like, oh God, she wants me to get up and, she wants to eat. And she was relentless. So after this, it was like 7 a.m. and I have a row of vitamins, supplements. So it was this particular, like 3 supplements. She would climb up and she would head right for them and she'd get kind of behind and she would kick them out. Well, she did that until she cracked the lid on one of them. So one day I get up and I see the pills on the floor and here she is eating them like they're treats. And I thought, well, that's odd because they were supplements specifically for the nervous system, for the brain. So after this continued, I noticed she would knock, there was 3 particular supplements. She kept knocking them down till she broke all the caps. So finally I just gave in and I would get them so I wouldn't have to hear her knock them over. And I'd put them in my hand and she would eat them. So after I told Dr. Tyndall, he said, well, they know what they need. And I'm like, oh, how interesting. I have to test that theory. So I got some other supplements that they all look the same and I put them in my hand. And sure enough, she picked up those 3 supplements. And she did that for about, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks. And then suddenly she quit. Then about a week later, she started on something different. And I have to laugh. I have a short little video of it, but it makes my heart happy to watch her because she climbs up and then it's like whack, whack. And then she does it until she knows, till she cracks the top and can get in the supplement. Well, she wants those supplements more than she would even have a cat treat.
Now, this is 2 good supplements too. This is natural supplements. These aren't, the synthetic
natural whole food supplements. The supplements she wants are actually supplements I take. Like the great thing about Standard Process is the vitamins for humans also work for the animals. So it was just fascinating to me. And the backstory on her is I found her, I was in a pretty tough time in my life and she found me and she was really a scraggly. She had no hair. Her skin was really bad. She had fleas and everything. And when I moved from Florida here to Kentucky, her back end, she was like Shadow the Office cat. She's black and she's white. So her black fur on the back was just gone. And I started her on good food and supplements over time. And she's healthy now. She's probably the healthiest cat of all of them.
Well, and if she's picking her own supplements,
and she is insistent. Some of the other cats, I give them all fish oil, and she's not interested in that so much. She'll eat it, but she's not interested. She wants some brain vitamins, or she gets into the immune system vitamins, which I'm sure help her fur grow. So she's very entertaining. I just wonder what is she gonna try next.
And you said you have 4 cats, and the other ones don't do this.
No, they don't. They don't. They're like the fish oil, but they don't even get up near the supplements. I have supplements here, and I have supplements up high over here. And every now and then she'll jump up over here and knock something down, which that's a bigger bottle, and it really goes flying. But no, she's very particular.
That's interesting.
It's really funny.
So, Miriam, do you have any fun animal pet stories that you want to share to get started today?
Well, I guess just to go off of that, I have a cat too, and she's the sweetest. She's kind of like a dog. Dr. Tyndall also has a cat dog, as he calls it.
Yeah.
uh,
That would do.
or a dog cat, whichever you want to say. And she definitely knows what she wants to. I think that's the amazing thing about pets and just animals. They're unlike us. They don't have the burdens of overthinking everything. They don't have that emotional barrier of, what should I do? What should I take? They don't have to contemplate. They know what they want and they know how to listen to their bodies. And that to me is amazing. And I think we need to learn from that actually.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. But I give my cat the whole body supplements daily, and anyone that meets her is always like, "Oh my gosh, she looks so healthy. Her fur is so shiny." And like what do you feed her? And I'm like, well, I feed her regular cat food that I get from the vet, but also supplements because I think a lot of people don't even know that pet supplements existed. So
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to actually ask Dr. Tyndall. Like, we're having this conversation because we're kind of in this circle, and I know you guys, but most people, everyday people with pets, don't think about supplements for their pets. What's something that maybe we can share today that would encourage people to either go looking for this option, or what kind of flags they could be looking for to then look for this kind of help for their pets?
Yeah. So here's a couple of things that when we're dealing with pets and trying to get pets healthy, first thing we do with pets, the same thing we do with humans, is we first start with the diet. So what I always talk to patients about is you got to look, what is your pet? And most pets, like cats and dogs, are actually carnivores. So you wanted a meat-based pet food if you do. And we give like ours, like raw eggs every once in a while. And a lot of patients, if their cats or dogs are sick, I tell them, go out and get raw liver, give them that, some raw eggs, raw food, because that's what they would naturally eat in the wild. And then the other thing we try to do is, again, just like we do with humans, we try to figure out what specific type of problem is, and we target that nutrition to that problem. So like I said, my friend's cat has a history of kidney problems, so we got the cat on like refuge plus a whole feline supplement to get it healthier. Like Shadow, or the cat that my daughter found, he started out on Infoplex, Conjuplex, Zymex-2 for the parasites. Now he's down to he does Allerplex because he's still got a kind of allergy, so he's on Allerplex. He gets cod liver oil, and then he gets the whole cat supplement. What's interesting about cats, and when people market to animals, this is what I kind of point out when they're doing the commercials, is they don't sell food, animal food, based on how it tastes or how it looks. They sell it on how the animal performs, how the animal feels. So if you actually listen to commercial, hey, I gave my, there's I'm trying to think of it. They advertise on the radio a lot, but they talk about, I gave my cat or my dog this, and their skin's better, their fur's better, they acted better. They're not, they're not itching, they're not scratching, but it's all about giving them healthy nutrition to get rid of their symptoms and their problems. Whereas we as humans, we market food on how it looks and how it tastes, not on how healthy it is and how it makes us perform better.
Yeah. Well, so I know that you guys also work with not just, your everyday pets. You guys have some interesting stories to share with some other animals that have made their way to your office, or that you've gone to see. You talked about horses earlier in the PEMF. But Dr. Tyndall, why don't we start with talking about this albino raccoon, and this, since this is so rare, because I didn't even know what it was when I first saw it.
Yeah. So the Mary from Nolan River Wildlife came in the other day. She said, I got something for you to see. It was an albino raccoon. It's 1 in a million.
Wow. And for those that are watching on YouTube, you can actually see the picture of this albino raccoon, by the way. And if you're listening on podcast, make sure you go over to YouTube and find New Life Naturopathic. Go ahead, continue.
So yeah, this guy got bit by a dog, and so when he got brought in to him, Mary was telling me how that he was infected and had maggots on him, and they clean him up and they get him, try to get him healthier and get him cleaned up and get him stitched up or whatever they have to do with them. And then we had to take x-rays of it, and we sent it to so that was us taking some x-rays up, and we sent the x-rays out and to the vet, and the vet, we looked around some stuff, and the vet noticed that on the leg had just a slight dislocation on it. So he did some work on it, and yeah, it was like cool. And then on that same day, she also brought in a fox and another a little baby raccoon.
Oh, the little baby. Okay, so everybody ready to go. Oh, yeah.
And that's baby raccoon is getting some PEMF therapy.
Yeah, my goodness. So I was going to ask about the PEMF for animals, because I remember taking some PEMF treatments when I was still in Kentucky, and there's a clicking sound. And like, if you're not really ready for that, so how do the animals respond to PEMF?
They love it. It's fascinating. Once they get on the mat and we get it kind of started, they'll just sit and relax, and they'll just lay right on that mat. It's Shadow, who's our office cat. When people are on the PEMF therapy, he'll actually go in there and jump on their lap. And what's also really cool with them is we tend to find this when a patient gets PEMF therapy. If they have a cat, there's a fox, yeah. If they have a cat, their cat will love on that night. It'll be like all over them, and it's because they can sense that change of energy and stuff and that person's healthier.
Now this is pulsed electromagnetic field therapy.
Yeah,
PEMF.
They here in Kentucky, they use it pretty much on all your show horses. All your race horses get PEMF therapy. What's kind of fascinating nowadays, this is my daughter, we're doing PEMF therapy on this horse's leg. It was swollen and injured. What's fascinating, like especially here in Kentucky, a lot of these race horses are getting away from the traditional veterinary drug therapy, and they're getting chiropractic, massage therapy, acupuncture, PEMF therapy, and nutritional therapy.
Wow.
Yeah, they're moving towards more, everybody calls it alternative medicine. Like I said before, I call it the original medicine.
The original, yeah, that's right.
But they're moving towards these types of therapies, and these are these are multi-million-dollar horses. I was just watching an auction here today. One of these horses sold for like $9.5 million. And
Lord
so
have mercy.
So when you're spending $9.5 million on a horse, they're getting the best of the best, and that stuff is chiropractic, acupuncture, nutrition, massage therapy, PEMF.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned we saw the albino raccoon. Here's another little guy there.
Yeah.
Raccoon. They're cute, but I don't know if I would have one as a pet. That would probably not be.
Oh, I would. Look at it.
It's quite cute. All right. So Miriam, you love animals, and we know this about you. So why don't you tell me a little bit about some of these? You sent me a picture of you with a little guy there. Tell us a little about this one.
Yes. So this was at the Dirty Dog Bash back in August of 22, I believe, beginning of August. And we basically work with this wildlife rescue down in Glendale, close to Elizabethtown. And we're probably going to be extending it to more locations, new locations. So we're very excited about that. But it's a nonprofit, and we always raise a great amount of money through donations. And we basically help wildlife that has been injured or sickly or unwell or whatever it may be. And I think it's just more healing for me to take care of these animals than, just as much as we're healing them. It's just such a great feeling to be able to really heal these animals. And it's such a powerful thing too. It just makes me feel so good inside, warm and fuzzy. And that was a fawn. It was losing some hair in the back of its neck, and we rejuvenated it. and they are just the sweetest little things. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They will just come and lick on you everywhere, and just eat off of you. And I just think it's so amazing how trusting they are.
Well, I think for me, it's interesting to see some of these interactions with these animals that aren't necessarily domesticated or pet type animals that are still interacting with people that way.
Exactly. That's the wonderful, amazing thing. And that's why I love animals so much. And we can learn so much from them, just like I said. But yeah, I've volunteered at zoos before as well. And this was just another wonderful experience. So we provide some of the same services, nutritional therapy, PMF. We go out with our PMF machine and give some of the injured animals some therapies as well.
Does some of the same testing, like blood tests and lab work, go along with this as well?
Yes. Yep. All of that as well. And you can find out and learn more on the website, on our website and the wildlife website. So we're really excited to be. Yep, there it is.
newlifenaturopathic.com.
Yep.
Well, it is definitely a topic that I was not expecting on a naturopathic show, because we've been talking about so many other things with people, and you know, treating the whole person is a big deal, but having this member of the family also be able to get treatment and make it really truly treating the whole family, I think that is unique. That's not something that you can get just everywhere. So I think that's pretty cool. Dr. Stuber, you got to tell the fun story about your cat. What about some of this other wildlife that you guys get to interact with? Do you have any fun stories from some of the other interactions?
No, when I was first here, I remember being shocked because I walked out of my office into around, I don't know how to describe it, around past the front desk, and there was a beaver in a cage.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And, you know, to see a beaver on TV is one thing,
Right.
but to see the beaver right there, like they were sedating the beaver. Like, I didn't realize how, I don't know the right word to say, but how aggressive they can be, and then to have a hurt beaver. So it was really neat to watch the whole process of what was wrong. I think he had a dislocated hip and x-raying him, and just the whole process of, like Dr. Tyndall said, it's how medicine for people should be, where, the vet orders the test and trying to heal the body, heal the animal, so that animals are a very important part of our life. They're very comforting, and a lot of people have helper animals. They decrease blood pressure, they decrease the risk of stroke, and there's a lot of people in our world, especially just the lifestyle we have, that are alone. And so it's important that you take care of your pet, because it's not like they can talk to you.
Right.
So prevention and doing things naturally is the way to go. Plus, it saves you a lot of money.
Well, most pets can't communicate with us, but apparently one of your cats.
Oh, that's right. I forget about no. Yeah, she is. She's one of a kind. But
One of a kind. Well, yeah, it's something that like I said, I didn't expect it when we were talking about doing this episode. So a beaver in the office. Dr. Tyndall, what did you guys do to the beaver? Was it, I'm guessing, PMF and some other things?
No, I think we just x-rayed the beaver, and then we sent the films off to the vet, and then I think they just took it back to the her place where they do the wildlife place, and then did some work on them.
I was really hoping this wasn't somebody's pet,
Yeah, we've no, it wasn't someone's pet. She's got down there. She's got coyotes. I mean, everything we've seen. She's had coyotes, groundhogs, skunks. That's possums. Yeah, there's a possum that they have when we were down there one time, and this possum pretty much hates everybody, and and Miriam went over to pick it up, and they're like, well, you need to be careful. He can get aggressive and stuff. It was funny because what was so funny about it, as soon as she picked him up, he like instantly fell in love with her. I guess she was in love with him.
I fell more in love though.
And he snuggled right up into her, and he was right on her neck, and he was just like buried himself in there.
And this was a
he just,
possum.
It was a possum.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're
That's
so
right.
loving. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's a big old possum.
I'll take your word for it. I'm good.
Squirrels, squirrels. So they're feeding baby squirrels. It's. I tell my friends, I said, it's wrecked my hunting because I don't hunt anymore.
Oh yeah.
Especially when we walk into the pen where she keeps the baby deer. We've helped feed them and all that other stuff. It's kind of fun. But what's interesting is you walk in and they just like come up and they lick on you, and they lick on your hands, and they'll suck on your fingers, and they're just like super lovable. And I'm like, oh man.
I went hunting one time when I was a kid, and then they field dressed it, and I was done. I didn't do any more hunting after that. Well, Dr. Tyndall, I know you want to make sure that people know about Nolan River Wildlife and if they want to get involved because of everything that they do. So tell us again real quickly about them. And for people watching on YouTube, you can see the website. But for those that are listening via podcast, Nolan River Wildlife, that's NOLIN, NolanRiverWildlife.com.
Yeah, it's a great group. Mary's been doing it for quite a few years. She's got a lot of volunteers. Everybody who works for her is volunteer work. The vets that do their work is volunteer. Ours is volunteer. When we have supplements, we just give them to them. We donate them to them. But the key thing is that they always need money because they have to buy medical supplies. They have to buy food. That's a big expense, I believe, for them, because every animal when I've seen her making these plates up for these animals, I'm like, man, I think I want that food, because they have to give them, what they would normally eat. So a lot of, so it costs a lot of money. They got a lot of people that do donate, but when it comes to the medical supplies and the food and things like that, they can always use assistance. They actually were in a small shed. They've actually recently, I was talking to Mary, they had a barn where they had their horses. They actually enclosed it and put concrete in it. And they actually have expanded that so much that she's actually moved into that area. So the number of animals that her and her volunteers are working on and stuff continues to expand. So of course that takes a lot of money, and everybody tries to help. We had a fundraiser here recently down there, and it was a great time, and a lot of funds are raised for these wild animals to get them healed and get them back into the wildlife.
Yeah,
so and a great job.
And like you said, for them, they need the opportunity to get some funds from the public, because these are not, people's pets that they're rescuing. They're, from the wild. So there's not anybody footing that bill without people jumping in and getting involved with Nolan River Wildlife. So we're about out of time for this one. This has been a fun one. Does anybody else have any other animal stories they want to tell, or anything they want to point out before we end this episode?
No.
I think that we have tons of them, so we can.
I was going to say we could do this all day. But Miriam mentioned you could go to newlifenaturopathic.com if you need more information as well. And of course, as we talk about every episode for the human side of things, new-lifeweightloss.com is a great website.
I was going to say
for you as well.
Also, if people want to order, Standard Process has a vet line for cats and dogs. Right. They have a starter kit for your kitten. They have a starter kit, the pup kit, starter kit for your puppy. And they have all kinds of supplements, for your animals and stuff. And a lot of times we'll have people call in. They just pay us, a small office visit. They tell us what's going on. We give them a nutritional recommendation, and we get calls from all over. So we just send them to the New Life, some are in the office, but the calls, they go onto that site and they just order whatever supplements that we recommend for them.
Yeah, and if you don't have a cat like Mittens that'll pick their own, there's testing that'll help figure that out. All right, folks. Well, thanks for being part of the episode with us. Make sure you're subscribing and sharing with your friends on YouTube. That's New Life Naturopathic on YouTube, as well as finding us on your favorite podcast platform. You can share that with your friends as well. Apple, Spotify, and all of those here for Pursuit of New Life. We're glad to share this knowledge with you, and we would encourage you to share it with your friends. Thanks, New Life team. We're going to do it again sometime.
Thanks, Quincy.
Thanks, Quincy.
Cheers.